Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to Bringers of the Light Sunday. Welcome. We are here Sunday, July 28th, hanging out. We're going to call in the guides here in a second and bring in our next channeled chapter of Hula High, part of our Bringers of the Light Maui series, and see what energies are indicative of the week ahead. This week coming up, that's part July, part August, part Lionsgate, part new moon. A lot going on. I think the new moon is on Sunday. That's Sunday, August the 4th, the same time as the official beginning of Mercury retrograde. Some of us have been feeling that a lot sooner. Oh, and Lunasa/Lammas first harvest on August the 1st, which is Thursday. So before we go any further, I'm going to wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Pleiadians, all of my TLC for the soul guides and bringers of the light, joining us here these soulful Sundays. Welcome in. If you're new here, settle in. We've had some new people join. TLC for the soul, welcome. And all of my TLC for the soul regular folks. You're not regular folks, but you are regulars. You've been here with me for quite some time now. Thank you for always coming back and deciding to play in the community, to child's play with us in the community. Very interesting channeling this week. I guess I would go back to the reading I did, the card reading I did 2 or 3 days ago, I think now, about the next 2 weeks, the path to Lionsgate, where it just seems like if you're in the right auric space, then it's just very idyllic energy. I think idyllic is how I would put it. There's seems to be time to just, sit back and relax and enjoy the now moments, peppered in here and there, like a soft summer day, like peppered in with like things to do. I don't feel like, I feel like I've arranged my daily routine, which is by far not like there's nothing to do. There's plenty of responsibilities, but I feel like I've got it in such a way to where I have time to like sit and read a chapter out of my book that I'm reading and, then go do, whatever task I need to do. And then, eat my breakfast or my plate. It feels like it's just very, very nice and easy flowing. And if you can stay in that 5D or whatever D number you want to put to it, I say 5D but just stay in the higher, higher vibey, higher dimensions, whatever number you want to put on it, then I think it's just one of those like up more in the northern hemisphere, like sweet summer days. And as much as I don't like the heat, and it's been really hot here, it's been a lot of there we go with the wildfire smoke. A lot of wildfire smoke, a lot of wind, and we've had like 90 degree temps the past 2 or 3 days. It's been like 90, 94 yesterday, but it's been even though it's been very pleasant, I have to say that, because growing up most of my life in South Texas, it feels slightly different than being in the southern part of the United States. So we're up here, if you're new, we're up here in North Dakota right now. We've got Bringers of the Light assigned to North Dakota. Let's see. What does Spirit want me to talk about today? Is there anything they want me to talk about, or do they just want me to read the channeling? Yeah, they're just saying it's short and sweet, that they really don't have anything to say. I think they said it all in the past couple of shows that I've done. So if you've missed those, if you're coming in from the podcast, check out the last couple of shows. You know, everything in the podcast is in chronological order, and there's like 700 and some odd YouTube videos now and podcast shows. So, let me just look here. What's the last two things I did? Oh, I did the next 2 weeks, the Path to Lionsgate, and then Portals 101, a look into your next big life event. If you need more to, go through. But right now we're going to head into our book. So just a little plug here. If you're new and you're not familiar with everything yet and you haven't got your bearings, TLC for the Soul is kind of all we've got our little mittens and everything. So I have the channel, the podcast, the TLC for the Soul is the brand. I am TAMI Chambers. I'm an author, artist, master healer. I have this show. We do a lot of shows. They're varied and based on whatever floats my, it's fun for me and whatever the guides ask me to come in and do. So we've got all sorts of stuff here. Card readings, pick a cards. The Bringers of the Light Sundays is where we got a lot of light language videos. There's playlists for everything. I've got a ton of playlists. So on Spotify, there's playlists, and on YouTube, there's playlists. Much of the work that we do here is timeless. There's also experientials. So like if you want a little bit of a workshop kind of a thing, we've got the 555 workshop, the 777 workshop, and the Kilimanjaro Ascension Journey. Those are all, they're all out there on YouTube and on the podcast. I don't know if they're all on the podcast, but anyway, they're all out there on YouTube and playlists. There's a ton of YouTube playlists. I guess the one I'd want to play with the most right now is coming up soon is the October Quest playlist, where I've put all my favorite Samhain/Halloween episodes. We'll be around this October 2024 will be our 7 years as TLC for the Soul, doing YouTube and doing the podcast. So there's, like I said, if you can always you need something. You need guidance, you need advice, you need a reading, you need something, you need a TLC for this whole pep talk. You can just go ask, set the intention that you're going to get what you need. Scroll up through the content pages or through the playlists or through the shows on the podcast. Put your finger down, close your eyes, put your finger down, and that will be what you most need to hear or know about, or advice or guidance for you for this now moment. You can do the same thing with my Instagram. We're on Instagram and TikTok, and you can do the same thing there. Instagram, it's the same thing. I've been around Instagram for a long time, since 2017 or 2018, and I've got over 1,500 I think posts, and all of them are guidance and daily messages. You can do the same thing there. You can use that like an oracle deck and just scroll through and put your finger down. Same thing for TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok as long, but anyway. Oh, now we gotta stop talking. There's fire smoke in the air. I also create oracle decks. All my oracle decks are on the Game Crafter. Links to everything I talk about are always in the notes of all the shows. We have a Bringers of the Light Patreon. And we also write channeled books, fiction and nonfiction. All my ebooks are free to read. The link to my Smashwords publisher is in the notes of all my shows, or you can find me on Google Books, Apple Books, and Barnes and Nobles. Everywhere free to read. All the ebooks are free. I've pulled all the paperbacks for now because I'm redesigning my paperback books. But what we do here on Sundays is we essentially end up writing a book together. And I don't write books. I channel books through my spiritual gift of clairaudience. It's a fun process for me. I don't plan out books. I don't plan chapters. I don't plan what I'm going to write. I just create a sacred space, a sacred circle. I call in my guides. I've been working with these books like this for many, many years now. since, well, the past 7 years or so. No, before that, 2015, yeah, almost 10 years now I've been doing it this way. That's the only way I've done it. And I just, call in the guides for the book I'm going to write, and I just put my hands on the keyboard and I just channel in a chapter. It's done like via automatic writing, and I just type in the words that I hear in my head, and it's as I've typed them on the page, it becomes a book. And we've got over 15, 16, maybe 17 published books now. We do have one nonfiction book out there, Eat Like a Lemurian. It's like a 12 to 18 month experiential kind of workshop book. Very big. If you want a very big soul growth experience, then Eat Like a Lemurian would be the book for you. And that's also free in ebook format. That's a lot of stuff. This time though. So we've got a lot of Bringers of the Light books out there, and we've been working on those on Sundays for many years now. We channel in a chapter at a time, and the chapter goes into the book. But I've also set the intention that it be indicative of the week ahead energy whenever we read them. So this morning I brought this chapter in. We're going to read it. We'll put it in the book manuscript. There's a lot of light language on the show. It's a pretty good show. Oh, goodness. That's like a really old guy I'm bringing in. What's that guy's name? I forgot. It's Topo G show. I'm not dating myself. I was not alive. It's just so funny. Oh, my gosh. Okay. This feels like rambling. I'll bring in this chapter. What were we doing last time? So last time we met, last Sunday we did not do the typical. I think we did a card. I think we did the card reading, the Portals 101 class. So it's been 2 weeks since we've had a chapter come in. So I'll just kind of bring us up to speed with where we were at. At that time we were doing chapter 6, and we had Hawaiian Airlines Flight 107 come in to Maui, and Dakar and Abigail, our Bringers of the Light Rockaway Point, have been called by High Court, Bringers of the Light HQ, to go to Maui and help Ke'a'ali and Bunny Witherspoon with these death marchers that are creating all these portals on the island of Maui in Hawaii. And we don't know why these portals are being created. We surmised many different things, which led to us doing the show called Portals 101. And so if you want to dive, we do a lot of I'm very much a spiritual scientist. I want to understand the technology behind the spirituality. So we do some deep dives like that. And Portals 101 was a little bit of a deep dive. I'm not as deep as I wanted to go, but enough for beginner friendly. But they came on the airplane. They touched down in Maui. They were going to go to the beach. And they had to go get their rental car. They were going to go to the cottage and get some room service and a cocktail and all of that. But dark forces, something was already watching them. Somehow dark forces, which is always what we're battling against, right? Personally and globally and whatever, knew that that our Bringers of the Light, Abigail and Dakar, some of our more seasoned Bringers of the Light agents, light warriors, light workers, spiritual warriors, they're on soul mission together. And they were called to Maui to help out some newer agents. I don't even know if Ke'a'ali and Bunny know that they're agents yet of the Bringers of the Light headquarters. I kind of not really sure if they do. But anyway, so we come in now. So this week ahead, we've got chapter 7, and Bunny and Ke'a'ali are also known as Poi Boy and Astro Girl. We have a lot of their short stories up on our blog too. Link to our website is in our show notes as well, if you want to go play in the blog and read a lot of the short stories around this and some other stuff. What else did I put in the blog? Oh, the Earth Council updates that we've been doing now since June. Our channeled updates from our Bringers of the Light Earth Council. But what we do here is we were going to read the chapter just as it's been automatically written down by me and the guides, and then I'll go through it and pull out any metaphors that they want me to pull out as it might pertain to you and your week ahead as your own, spiritual warrior work or spiritual missions and assignments, or just what's happening in your own life. What we do say here to do too is listen with your master senses. Call in your own guides. Create your own sacred space. Have your guides help you pull out any metaphors that might be for the week ahead for you. So it's like, same thing as doing like a card reading, but we do it with channeled fiction stories. So fun. Chapter 7 is Poi Boy and Astro Girl Make New Friends. And of course I have fun doing all the voices. Time for pork roast. That's not a good voice though, but a lot of my books are on audiobook too. Some of you listening are going to be like, what? A lot of my books are on audiobook. I've done audiobooks of a lot of the books, so those are also in playlists. Oh, I got to get more fans. Ooh, it's hot in this room that I'm in. Time for pork roast. Time for a pork roast, Kay said as he pulled up his best friend's name and dialed in. Kay and Porky had been friends since the early days when Kay had first come to the south shores of Maui. He'd met Porky at a luau, and they'd become fast friends, surfing every chance they could get and going to the local pork roasts so that Kay could learn the sacred ceremony of prepping the pig. Everything on the island was sacred to the locals: pigs, people, plants, the dirt. And so Kay had learned the art of pork roasting and had taken that sacred art with him to the Poi Boy. That's his restaurant that he owns. Bunny, his divine counterpart, wanted to go to Oahu. She didn't feel like a pork roast, and so she called Candace Capricorn to see if the girl wanted to join her. Bunny had her sights set on a walking tour, spumoni, and paddleboarding in no particular order. Her friend, Pay Luckfoot, had a timeshare on the beach and had given her week to Bunny just because. Pay had plenty of weeks left in her package, so she didn't mind sharing. Bunny kissed Kay goodbye for now and loaded the Jeep for the airport. It would be busy right about now, and Kay's cousin Lanky went along so he could drive the Jeep back to the Poi Boy. It was apparently a guy's night out as the island boys all gathered to help with the preparation of the pork roast. Pineapple and other sundries were brought together to make the sweet marinade. The guys took turns on the guitar and each had a new song to sing. Cigars and beers flowed freely as they all helped prep the pig and start the fire. A hole had been dug in the sand out by the beach, and each island boy would take turns tending the barbecue, since it was an all-night thing. Music played and nerves were soothed by the magic of the island. As the guys were making sides for the feast, a rental car pulled up outside the Poi Boy. Kay had taken the night off and had closed the place early. They'd had some good weeks and had money saved and set aside so that they could do just that, take time off when they wanted and not feel guilty about it. Dakar went around to help Abigail out of the car. He looked around, noticing the empty parking lot. Highcore had said to meet at the Poi Boy, but the place looked deserted. "Stay here a minute," he told Abigail. "Let me take a look around the place." "Okay," she said, pulling out her phone to text her friends back home. She already missed Rockaway Point, but she was also ready for new adventures. She'd started a text chat group and had pulled in Polly Willikers, Larimar McDougal, and her mom into the group. She was waiting for a few others to join, but sent ahead a few pics of the plane landing and now the front of the Poi Boy. Dakar could smell food simmering and heard a lot of conversation and laughter coming from the back of the restaurant. He went around the side of the building and almost into a head-on collision with Kay. "Wow, sorry, mate," Dakar said, knowing his European accent, which I don't do here. Maybe I should start doing it. Knowing his European accent. What would his accent sound like? I don't know. "Wow, sorry, mate." Wow, sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. I don't know Dakar has always been just suave to me. "Sorry, mate." Dakar said, knowing his European accent was a dead giveaway that he wasn't local. "Hey, sorry about that," Kay said, noticing Dakar's somewhat out-of-place attire. Cashmere was a little warm for the island at any time of year, but hey, it definitely felt good on the body and was a warm welcome on the flight where plane temperatures were often way too cold. We're actually closed for the night, Kay said, hoping he didn't have to stand out here too long. It was his turn to tend the fire bake. I'm looking for someone, actually, Dakar said. Kay, Ali, I'm helping him with something. Dakar said, feeling this guy might actually be who he was looking for. Bringers of the Light HQ had briefed Dakar on the mission with just a name and a quick but very old pixelated photo of Kay. Dakar would have rather just astral projected over in advance of the trip and looked at things for himself, but he hadn't had the time. That's me, Kay said, smiling. You must be that guy, he said, wiping his hand on his apron. The one they told me about. I'm Dakar, was all Dakar was said, realizing this guy hadn't been briefed at all. He was going to have to talk with Highcore. This business was way too risky to come in blind all the time. Bringers of the Light Special Ops needed to do a better job of screening locations before they just dumped him out somewhere, especially when he had Abigail along. Well, no time like now for a debriefing, Dakar said. How long are you here tonight? Oh, all night, Kay said. Hey, you could join me at the fire bake. I've got a 100-pound pork roast just waiting to be devoured. Dakar thanked Kay and told him he'd be right back. He'd get Abigail comfortable at the rental and then head back over to the beach. It was going to be a long night, he thought, as he felt his skin prickle. They were already being watched and followed, so we better get to the bottom of what was going on around here. He had to report back to Highcore in the morning. Duty calls, he thought to himself, as he returned to the rental car to find no Abigail. Now what, he thought to himself. He pinged her in his mind. Where'd you get off to? But all he got was static. Something was wrong. Static. So, week ahead, let's pull out the... well, I will say for the week after that, we have Chapter 8. All we get is the title of the chapter, A Girl's Gotta Do What a Girl's Gotta Do. But I do find it interesting in this particular chapter. So if we take a look at this and start pulling out metaphors or stuff for the week ahead energies, it's all pretty much masculine energy. On the island, like Bunny leaves to go to Oahu with Candace. So Bunny and Candace go. Abigail's there, but Abigail just kind of seems like this background character right now. She's not doing a heck of a whole lot. And then we've got, like I said, this kind of idyllic stuff, like pork, what is it? Like the pork roast or whatever you want to call it, whatever they officially call them up there. Then they're like the luau's and all that. The boys' night in or boys' night out or boys' night of pork roasting. All these guys, Porky and Lanky and all these people that are coming in. And then Bunny with her sights going a walking tour. It feels a lot just like vacation time. So maybe for a lot of you, it is the end of July, beginning of August. Maybe I don't know if anybody has kids, right before school starts. I looked here. I'm like, I don't know when school starts here. It's August 21st up here. I think in South Texas, I don't know when. I think we got to start school a lot later. I lived in San Antonio and outside of Austin for almost over 30 years. Since I was like 12 years old, I think, to like right after I had my son in 2007. So 1979, I think, to 2007-ish or so, I lived in San Antonio or right on the outskirts of San Antonio. But school start for them was like the last week of August or the first week of September-ish, right around in there. There's no bad weather days. There's no bad weather days in South Texas during the winter. And here, I think, even though the weather's like absolutely, who knows what it could be in the winter time, -20 or whatever, the kids still go to school, the buses still run. The kids never really get a bad day. Unless every now and then, I think one time there was a big blizzard, and I think that particular day, like, school got out early or something, but you don't get that up here. But it looks like just like a lot of vacation-y things, like stuff I would want to do if I was going. I don't know about spumoni. Isn't that some kind of ice cream? Paddleboarding, I'd want to do that. Walking tour sounds fun. I would want to do the luau, and I would do the pork roast. It sounds interesting. It's really good. The guitar, singing songs in the car, cigars and beer. I wouldn't be doing any of that, but But maybe this is you, right? Maybe you're doing the barbecues. Maybe you're smoking a good old cigar, drinking, a beer or non-alcoholic beer. I don't know, cocktail or a mocktail. Um, Maybe you are going on vacation, like way far away somewhere. In this case, though, Rockaway Point's very far, so it's in our etheric city somewhere in the UK, and they came all the way to Hawaii for work / vacation, Dakar and Abigail, and then Bunny wants to go to Oahu, which is just more island hopping down there. They're not going very far. What my microphone is doing here. I just don't, I feel like the same thing I said for the Lionsgate card reading. And we took a video and posted on Instagram and TikTok, I don't know, I think it was yesterday, of the bald eagle that was out by the river when I was down there yesterday. I took the dog out there yesterday morning just for a change of pace. It's not, I say out there like it's far away, it's 5 minutes from the house, but it's like 5-minute car drive. But, yeah, we had the bald eagle, and it just feels like it's just this nice, just sweet, peaceful summer vacation-y time. It looked like it was going to rain earlier this morning, and I went and sat in one of my favorite little rooms in the house. It's just very quiet and peaceful. It looks out over the Medicine Wheel Trail, and I just opened the window. It wasn't quite warm yet. It was kind of cloudy, and I have all the trees and everything, and the deer are out there, and the cat, I've got 2 or 3 different black cats now that come through. I've got rabbits that live all here on the property. They live under the decks and stuff, and in the big tree up under the big giant, it is a tree, but it looks like a giant bush. But lots of rabbits. Sometimes a fox will come down. It just feels very idyllic and very peaceful and very, very, on the weekends, super, super quiet, because the people that work in the building across from the house are not there on the weekends. So, I don't know. The whole thing with Dakar and Bring Her to the Light HQ and all that, I don't know. It just sounds like, maybe you do have stuff at work that needs to get worked out, but it doesn't seem like it's anything pressing that you have to really get to right away. I feel like it's just like, maybe you are on vacation, and as you're on vacation, you're thinking about things at work that maybe you need to attend to, but it doesn't feel like you have to like hurry up and get to them. It just feels like maybe you think of like, oh yeah, but when I get back, I got to do this. And maybe you jot that down or whatever as a note for yourself. Now, the fact that Abigail goes missing, I don't know. I had no idea that was coming. Although we knew they were being watched from the final chapter. And the fact that when he pings her, when they speak telepathically in their minds, they always ping, they always respond to each other. So the fact that she doesn't respond at all, and he says, but all he got was static, makes me kind of concerned for her. Like, did she get knocked out or something? Like, that'd be one of the only times she wouldn't be able to respond to him. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not even really sure I understand who the antagonist is in this particular story so far. Is it the portals? Is it the Death Marchers? Is it the dark shadowy figure that came through a few chapters back? It's just been the book itself. Whenever I channel in books, the energy of the book is always mirroring kind of what's happening right now. And the energy of this book is just pretty much the same thing, like very slow going. Whenever you go to Maui, too, whenever we deal with Hawaii, it's always what I call, being on, and they call it too, like you're on island time now. And island time is different than time anywhere else. Everything is more slow and easygoing. Everything is more... well, if you're on vacation, right? Everything's more idyllic. But I think there are parts of Hawaii where things are a little bit more fast-paced, where there's a lot of traffic, and times of the year when there's tons of traffic, which is probably right now. But like, on an off season or something, even when there's tons of traffic, I just don't know. I just feel like time flows differently down there. And just like where I live here, it's a small town. It's not a large town. I think there's 10,000 people here, which I know it's not super small, but I'm coming from living in like San Antonio, outside of Austin, to and LA, where there's like millions and millions and millions of people. So 10,000 people to me is like what? The speed limit around the entire town is 25 miles an hour everywhere. And when I go to the big town, which is 60 miles over, to Fargo, the speed limit in their town is 40 miles an hour. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so fast. The cars, like, and the people here say the same thing, like, oh my gosh, I just can't go over there because it's so fast paced. I'm like, oh my God, this is nothing. I posted a picture the other day, I think I don't know, it's on Instagram. I don't know where else I posted it, of the Orange Crush in LA, a picture I had taken a long time ago of the Wilshire Boulevard sign. And I think it was headed out in that picture out of town on a vacation. Because we go up and down the West Coast a lot by car. And the Orange Crush, but it's, 6-7 lanes of traffic. It just comes to a complete stop. And you sit there for who knows how long, depending on who knows what's going on. Sometimes it's just traffic. It's just too many cars. And sometimes they'll bring out like the sheriff or the DOT people, and they have to do something to kind of, I don't know how they do it in a way, but like they pace the traffic. Like they'll let cars go, and then they'll come and they'll stop the whole highway of traffic, and then they're kind of like doing something so the volume is not so much. I can't really explain it, but I lived there for quite some time, on the southern coast of California in Orange County, and 6 years, I don't know. I've been going to California on and off since like 1998, I think. Or maybe even before that. 95. So I have a deep, 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 deep love and affection for California. And South Texas is just, growing up there for so long, I just through osmosis, have this deep affinity for the culture down there as well. And many other areas of the world. All right, let me just see if there's anything else besides me just being chatty. If there's anything else the guides want to share. They're saying, cherish this time right now, this next couple of weeks leading up to Lionsgate, because August is going to pick up quite substantially. So if you are given this time now to rest, to recuperate, to go slow and be on island time, they're saying, they're channeling through this right now. They're saying take full advantage of that. Let yourself have this time. Because even though first harvest is August the 1st, the wheel of the year or whatever, we've still got the energy shifts at Lionsgate, between Lionsgate and the autumn equinox in September, the equinox in September, there is, do you want to put a word to it? Fireworks. They're saying it's called, it's called fireworks. Oh, great. We're fire. Fireworks. We have to do a whole show on that, because a while back we channeled in some high-level energy for the rest of the year, and we were working off of some, I can't remember which one it was, the solstice it was the 6/6 portal to the Lionsgate was a block of energy that was significant in terms of what was going on, and then we had the Lionsgate to the equinox, and then the equinox to the solstice. So we will be doing a show, I guess, here, that maybe that's the next thing we'll be doing, about further breaking down the cards we drew to talk about, well, what's coming. To me, Lionsgate's already almost here, even though technically it's like a week and a half or so away. Though the gate is already open. The actual portal is not just on the 8/8. It opens up like right around the Galactic New Year, the July 25th, 26th time frame, and it goes to about August 12th or 13th before the energy starts to dissipate. So we're in that Lionsgate portal time, but at the same time we've got all these retrogrades. We've got Mercury retrograde. We've got first harvest. It's a time to just go. I know we keep saying about how long do we keep going within, but I think when we're advised to go within, it's best to heed that, because when they tell us that the energy is going to pick up again, then we want to have these downtimes. They're like stop gaps, the guides are saying, because if you were just going, if there was no room for you to rest in the energy field, then you would burn out like way too fast. So especially if you're working in the higher dimensional frequencies, it's not really time-based there, but it's a whole other show, they're saying, to talk about the relationship between what's happening in the higher realms right now and what's happening for you in the 3D world right now. But they're saying just suffice it to say to use this time to your advantage right now over the next week and a half to 2 weeks or so that it's coming up, to just take it easy, take it slow, relax, rest, enjoy your life. Don't try to push anything too hard. Don't try to go beyond your limits. And then get ready for another big surge of energy coming after the 8-8. All right, friends. So that is all we have for you on this Bringers of the Light Sunday. And I guess we will see you all again. The next show we'll be doing is we'll be breaking down the energies from the 8-8 to the equinox. That little bit of like a 6 weeks-ish or so time frame, 5 weeks time frame. So until then, I love you very much. Thank you always for joining us here, and we will see you all again soon. Take care. This episode was brought to you by Flame, Rockaway Point's one and only hot yoga studio. You can do this, Rockaway Point. Get yourself in for a Flame yoga hot body session with Sandra McGee. She will push you to your very limits in the over 100-degree studio temperatures. You are sure to get your hot yoga freak flag on. Go ahead and join us at Flame.